this important court hearing that we had today. From the city's perspective, we thought the hearing went very well. We feel the judge is going to give thoughtful consideration to all the arguments that were made. We feel we put forth a very strong argument for why this case should be stayed until the Commonwealth Court reaches a decision on Act 192. It's our belief that Act 192 is unconstitutional, will be struck down by the Commonwealth Court, and frankly, I think it's important to say this, it's my belief that Act 192 was nothing but a payoff to the gun lobby on the backs of the hardworking taxpayers of Harrisburg and other municipalities throughout this Commonwealth. There were a lot of arguments made in court today. One thing that was missing was, unfortunately, the voice of the people and the public and all those that were affected by the epidemic of illegal gun violence that we have in Harrisburg and in other cities in this Commonwealth. There was reference to hunting and an argument, an extreme argument made by the other side that there should be no regulation whatsoever of any aspect of handgun use. That's why it's important that you're following this case. That's why it's important that we are taking the stand that we took today. And again, we look forward to a relatively quick decision from Judge Dowling, and we are hopeful that the Commonwealth Court, which has already agreed to take up Act 192 in an expedited fashion, will that that act is unconstitutional, eliminating standing and eliminating the issues that were argued today.
Were there any ordinances that were presented today that you believe that the opposition had some standing on that you may rescind at a later time?
We don't believe that they prove standing at all on any of our ordinances. There was an argument to be made regarding our parks ordinance, but there was no argument to be made regarding any, and they did not make it. So the answer to that is no.
What do you make of Judge Dowling's comment? I guess it was brought up about hunting lands in the city of Harrisburg, and then Judge Dowling made a kind of comment saying, what about 14th and Market Street, alluding to the criminal element up there.
I think the judge made that remark to show the absurdity of the plaintiff's arguments that somehow this was at all related to hunting. There's no eligible area to hunt anywhere in the city of Harrisburg, and what that comment reflects is the degree to which we have an epidemic of violence, and that's what these ordinances are designed to try and curtail. And it is my belief, and it's the chief's belief, that these ordinances are in the public safety, in the interest of public safety and in the interest of the public, and that's why we're fighting so hard to defend them, and it's really absurd to argue otherwise.
What type of financial implications could not only this lawsuit but any future lawsuits have on the city of Harrisburg and other small third-class cities?
They could be enormous, and we are not very mindful of that fact. In fact, Attorney McShane, in his stated reasons for bringing this case against Harrisburg, was because he felt that Harrisburg was financially challenged and might not be able to have the resources to defend itself, that we would easily roll over. With the provision that attorneys' fees are paid, I think you're going to see a rash of these cases around the Commonwealth as individuals look for a quick payday. So, we have to take a stand on this in Harrisburg, but there are going to be enormous costs that we're going to have to bear. Hopefully, we'll have a denial of the preliminary injunction motion and a stay of this case, which will curtail costs in this case until the Commonwealth Court rules.
Do you guys look at it as kind of a strong arming, that you almost feel like you're being strong armed by the gun lobby or the program?
I think the act is really nothing more than trying to bully municipalities to back down. I don't think it's based on merit, and I think that was how it was designed. It was to make a strong financial argument about why we should stand tough and defend public safety. And unfortunately, that's worked in other municipalities, but it's not going to work in Harrisburg, and it's not going to work in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh or Lancaster, where all of us are united in working together to make sure that Act 192 is defeated.
Now, of the many, you guys are some of the few that are actually fighting it. Why did you, even though you are financially strapped, why did you guys decide that this was necessary enough to fight?
Because we have a obligation to protect the public, and we feel that these laws are all in the public interest. And it's as simple as that. Any other questions?
Chief, can we ask you one? We wanted to see, from your perspective, how does this affect these ordinances? How important are they to law enforcement and the day-to-day operations?
We have nothing against firearms, legally owned firearms, legally purchased. We have no gun shops within the city. We have no state game lands within the city limits. So our ordinances are to protect the citizens of the city. And that's what we are here doing. We're not disputing that people have a legal right to own firearms if they purchase them legally or anything like that. Illegal firearms, that's what we are here to fight against. We are here to protect the citizens of the city. It's that simple.
Yeah, sorry. The argument of self-defense was also brought up. I guess regarding even with the recent case last fall with Representative Marty Flynn, who fired at some of the perpetrators or suspects that was trying to rob him. Was he cited for discharging a firearm?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So you don't see that these ordinances handcuff, so to speak, I guess, a person's freedom to self-defend themselves?
Not at all.
I would say, of course not. The right to self-defense is a clear right, and these discharge ordinances, such as Harrisburg's have, go back far beyond the 18th century and even far beyond American history, are deeply rooted in the common law and indeed the entire legal history of Western civilization. There is nothing extreme about that whatsoever. What is extreme is the argument that people should be shooting guns recklessly in the city and potentially endangering others. That is an example of the extreme nature of the case and why people should be paying attention. Because it was argued in court this morning that there should be absolutely no restrictions whatsoever on the use of guns anywhere in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Real quick, just Senator Bott cases in town today. Is this something that maybe speak with him about on the federal level, trying to get some of these? I know we're going from a city to a county to a state ordinance, but is there anything that maybe he could do to fight for, I guess, gun legislation on the federal
We'll talk. This is the first case, and as you heard today, this dealt mainly with state law, not with the Second Amendment, and not with federal implications. There are additional cases coming, and that's going to be addressed at that time. And I look forward to speaking to Senator Casey today. He'll be at Little Lamps on State Street at 1 o'clock, and he's going to talk about the importance of making it easier for restaurants and businesses to depreciate capital over time, over a shorter period of time, which is something which I think would be good for the city of Harrisburg.
Hello, here to talk about the lawsuit today. There is a clear loser in all of this, and the loser is the tax-paying citizens of the city of Harrisburg. Because of the hubris of the mayor and the city council, they're fighting for principle, but principle not using their own money, but rather taxpayers' money. I find it very interesting that the mayor talks about, as he does, the following of laws and whatnot. I'd like to read you a direct quote from our good mayor in terms of what he believes. He was quoted in the Patriot News as saying, "The appropriate response is not, give us more time to keep breaking the law. The goal should be stop breaking the law." This lawsuit is very simply our exact embodiment of what the mayor has said to Dauphin County very recently. Stop breaking the law. What makes me really sad here is how much money is going to be spent on their attorneys, which they have to pay out of taxpayer money. Even if they win, they don't recover that. Think about how many police officers, how many rape counselors, how many other public services could be used. They stood in court here today and said they don't intend on enforcing any of these ordinances. And this, my friends, and everyone here is the tragedy of it all. They are spending money that could be much better suited to giving Chief Carter a lot more police out on the street. We want to see those police out on the street. We need those police out on the street. And I invite you, and I invite all good people that believe in the rule of law and also believe that their tax money should be spent in combating crime to call up these people, your representatives, and say, settle the lawsuit. It's time that we stop. It is time that the law is followed. It is time for rationalism to win over politics. Questions?
Going by that argument, it almost seems like you're trying to strong arm the city into changing some of the ordinances that you guys don't believe in. Convince me I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's simple. We made a plea offer, we made an offer to the city that said we would totally get rid of all attorney's fees, all expert fees, everything that had to do with this case. Myself personally, I would be out about $6,000, maybe $10,000 myself if they would simply follow the law and stop breaking the law. I put my money where my mouth is. I put my personal money and my family's money where my mouth is. None of the city council members or the mayor has done likewise.
Why didn't you just wait until Commonwealth Court made a decision before bringing this lawsuit?
Because right now, good citizens are enjoined from doing things that are legal by these illegal ordinances. It has to stop.
That's your opinion. Why don't you let Commonwealth Court rule on that?
What?
Are you acting as judge and jury here?
No, I'm acting as a concerned citizen who's refrained from using my firearm in the way that it's intended to, which is for self-protection.
And you said that in court, that you do not carry while you're in the city of Harrisburg?
I want to carry in the city of Harrisburg because I'm no one to dispute what the mayor and what the chief have said, that this is a city that is, in their own words, quote unquote, strife with crime going up. Any rational person who cares about the safety of themselves or their family doesn't want to be a disarmed victim that's easy for prey. Thank you.
Do you carry or not in the city? You won't answer my question.
Chief Carter said that I guess people are able to carry in the city though.
They're able to carry in the city except for which is restricted by their ordinances, which include parks.
Okay, I guess back to the argument, I guess we brought up in court, I guess where are parks in the city? Like playground parks?
Playground parks, Riverfront Park, City Park, City Island, all of those places. The bad guys don't make appointments. They don't call and say, hey, guess what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rob you on 3rd and Sycamore. They come to you when you're not prepared, when you're least prepared, and you're there. Everyone has the right of self-defense. That's what the mayor said. I agree with him. It's restricted right now in the city because of these ordinances.
Even Judge Dowling brought it up, other than Act 192, I mean, what other standing is there against some of these ordinances?
The standing is quite clear with Act 192 that their very existence is offensive to the rule of law. Without Act 192, they're still offensive because they curb behavior. Right now, even though they say they don't want to charge, it still makes it possible for them to charge people. They can change that decision right now. They have a 2-year statute of limitations. They could go back to those representatives that discharged a firearm in self-defense. It's still within 2 years. They can say, we changed our mind. What we need to do is we need to have the rule of law, and the city needs to follow the law. It's very simple. The law is the law. If you don't like the law, guess what? That's fine. That's your opinion. You go 4 blocks up that way and you talk to your state legislature. That's what people have to do in this Commonwealth. That's what you must do in this Commonwealth. And that is the only legal way of doing it.
Given it appears that the city won't back down, they just said they won't. So after your noon deadline today, and if this goes into trial, are you seeking full financial, if you win, full financial, I guess, costs?
When citizens break the law and they are convicted, they must pay a fine for their wrongdoing. No one has directly asked me ever if I would seek attorney's fees or U.S. Law Shield would seek attorney's fees and what we would do with the money. One of the things that I've struggled with for a long time in this case is that I have a blessing, and the blessing is that the good people around this community trust me and my law firm in order to protect them. And the great question that I have here is, if we take attorney's fees, Are we punishing anyone other than the taxpayers? Because it's not the politicians' own money, it's the taxpayers' money. So I struggle with that, and I'll continue to struggle with that, and I will always struggle with that about what we do. Because if we take money away from the city, that's going to be police officers off the street. That's going to be first responders off the street. I don't want to see that happen. That would be a nightmare to me.
So you're still not sure if you will or will not take money?
I don't know. It depends upon how headstrong they are, how much their hubris is, and whether or not they want to completely end this lawsuit. We extended them an offer that went all the way through to today that said, if you just commit to rescinding these laws, these illegal laws, then we will get rid of all of it, and I will be out of pocket about $10,000. That's not good enough for them, because what they want to do is they want to use their taxpayers' entrusted money in order to go out there and fight a principled battle where they say they don't even enforce the ordinances. What a bizarro world we live in. Thank you.
What would be the best case scenario for you guys? Okay.
You know what would be the best case scenario for me right now is if Chief Carter, if the members of the city council and the mayor who's left would come up to this podium and say, you know what, we have, oh, he's right over there, I'm sorry, Mayor, that they would come right back up here, join me in a win-win situation where they say, we will follow the law. We will follow the law until the law is found by a court to be unconstitutional. That we will rescind these illegal ordinances and spare the taxpayers' money. It appears from their actions that they don't care about taxpayers' money. That's what it appears like to everyone. Thank you.